La Belle Dame sang Merci, the beautiful woman without pity, compassion, feelings, genuine feelings. A beautiful woman who cannot reciprocate love. This is a poem written in the medieval poetry genre known as the ballad. It is a story about a knight at arms who is lonely, looks pale, and wanders around. The line, "Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering," is repeated over and over. The speaker addresses the knight directly using thee. The speaker looks ill and confused. The setting can be traced to late autumn or early winter because no birds sing and the sedge has withered from the lake. The last line in stanza 2 also suggests with the declaration the harvest gone and the squirrel's granary is full. The knight's cheek is fading. In stanza 3, the knight explains how he had found himself in that state. When he says, "I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairest child." He had met a beautiful lady in the field, and she seemed to love him. Just beautiful. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. He carried her on his horse and rode with her the whole day while she sings fairy songs to him. She gives him food, roots, honey, and manna, and tells him that she loves him. She also takes him to her cave, referred in the poem as the Elfin Grot. Nothing is clear about what happens in the cave, but she weeps and sighs before making him to fall asleep. And she took me to her elfin grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore. He kisses her 4 times, and the knight has nightmares of pale kings while he's asleep, and princes who are already dead. And all of them are warning him that he has been enslaved by the woman. They cried, "La Belle Dame sans Merci has thee in trial." And they call her La Belle Dame sans Merci. Keats' knight awakes by the hillside and finds himself in a sickly state. He's just one of the victims of the heartless lady. He is lonely and loitering even though birds no longer sing. The poem uses vocabulary from the medieval period, such as mead, grot, woe betide. Keats seems to want to contribute to the revival of the ballad thematically. La Belle Dame sans Merci addresses the perils of love, especially that which is superficial. He also comments on the ephemerality of love. The lady makes the knight to feel loved, but immediately withdraws it when his heart starts beating and he starts feeling comfortable. The lady with her beauty does not even know what she admires or what she desires because she is a fairest child, suggested by her address to the knight in a strange language, which is not human. The grot where she takes the knight can be a representation of the underworld, of the minds or the heart where dreams and love dwell or are nourished. Keats depict a world of pure nightmares, which originates from the loss of love attachment. The poem is very musical and repeats words like paleness to denote sickness. Love sickness, while wild, is used in connection to the lady's eyes. It should be noted that the same phrase begins and ends the poem. Though the sedge has withered from the lake and no birds sing. Another feature of the poem is the simplicity of the language and the absence of detail. Keats sets his simple story of love and death in a bleak wintry landscape that is appropriate. The repetition of the concluding line and the slight alteration emphasizes the fate of the fortunate knight and neatly encloses the poem to bring it back to the beginning, in keeping with the ballad tradition. Keats does not name the knight, the questioner, or the lady in the poem. The beautiful woman is presented as one who attracts men only to destroy them with her supernatural powers. She destroys men because it is in her nature to destroy them. Some critics view this poem as Keats' personal rebellion against the pains of love. In some of his letters and poems, Keats expresses that he did experience the pain in love as well as the pleasure of love, but he resented the pains, especially with the loss of freedom when one is in love. The major theme in the poem is love. Nevertheless, we have other ideas such as beauty, pain, and death. The poem has many aspects of myth, mystery, love, and obsession for death. He's obsessed with a lady whom he had met and who is a spirit. The poet knows, and he is ready to stay with her until he dies. The love that he has for her can only be that of infatuation. The speaker warns that intense romantic love can drain one's emotional energy. In the same manner, when the object that is beloved leaves, the love is transformed to spiritual death. In this state of things, the abandoned lover loses all ability to appreciate beauty anymore in anything around him except that of the beloved that is lost. Excuse me. With the lady by the speaker's side, he sees nothing except her all day. She takes him to her home, lulls him to sleep only to abandon him without a word, leaving him hopeless. This is a warning that love can provide joy and melancholy at the same time. The cruelty of the lady's disappearance suggests that anything that one has obsession for will end up in pain. The poem also handles imagination and reality. The fanciful world is epitomized by falling in love with a fairy's daughter, the elfin grot, and her songs that lull him to sleep. The dream that he has by the hillside also reinforces the power of imagination. The imagery of the fairy's environment emphasizes the element of mysticism. The element of realism is introduced by the setting in late autumn, with the sedge withering and no birds sing as the creatures prepare for the season of winter. The themes in the poem are illustrated by the natural and mystical imagery. The poem also handles spirituality, as the fairest lady is a spiritual force. Also note that she does not have human feelings. And that is the reason why she is referred to as the lady without mercy. Her beauty also reinforces the spiritual dimension of the poem.